You're going to realize it one day. That happiness was never about your job or your degree or being in a relationship. Happiness was never about following in the footsteps of all of those who came before you. It was never about being like the others. One day you're going to see it, that happiness was always about the discovery, the hope, the listening to your heart.
Hello everybody out there, it's me, Tarantula Force, and today we are talking about sun spiders, or camel spiders, or sulfugae. That's the order that they're in. You've heard about them. They look scary, but they're really not harmful to you. So I just thought that I would talk about them a little bit because I got a couple in my collection, and I think that they're completely fascinating in every way I could think about. They're the cutest bug. I know they have weird mouth parts that look kind of like this, and that they chew up their prey, and they suck up their insides, and they have zero venom, and then they have a lot going on here, and a lot going on back there, and it scares you. But listen to me, please, if you see them, they're not venomous. Sun spiders don't have venom. They're just a weird bug. So please, help me appreciate this weird bug today, and I'm gonna jump on over to my footage, okay? Ready, set, go! All right, everybody, here's the footage. So what I'm doing now is setting up an enclosure for Rhagodes melanus. It's also known as a black sun spider, which is still a camel spider, which is still in the order Sulfugae, still a camel spider. What I'm doing is taking excavator clay from ZooMed, mixing it with Reptisoil, and mixing it with vermiculites to make this sturdy substrates that they can burrow into, and mixing it all together first. The dog is going to put his nose into it for good luck. Here I am. I'm mixing it up with vermiculites. That's what that stuff is. You can get that at like any Home Depot. I mixed it all together, and then I added a lot of water, but you don't want it oversaturated. I just mixed it up kind of like I'm making, I just mixed it up like a brownie mix, but it can't look like a brownie mix. It just has to be thick like a clay. What you want is a clay-like structure so that they can burrow into it. And then on top of that, I added dry excavator clay. So it's kind of like a sand, because that's what they would be doing in the wild, is like hanging out on top of sand where it's dry and then going down where it's moist and making burrows. So here I am. I made a starter burrow, and I'm gonna make another starter burrow off camera, because for some reason when I'm doing this, I'm not paying attention where I'm filming, but the footage was still good, so instead of refilming it, I just went with it. So I will talk over it to entertain all of you while I, off camera, make myself some burrows for this camel spider that I got in. I actually got in 6 camel spiders. I did have, and I put a cork bark on top, but I don't think that's necessary. I don't think they care about cork bark. Here we go. This is the black sun spider that I got in. Sun spiders are also known as camel spiders. It is the same kind of animal. They just have a lot of common names. I don't know what it was doing, but it seemed like it was ready to go inside of its enclosure. It did not want to be in the deli cup anymore. I just took some footage so everybody can appreciate it better. They are a beautiful species. They're completely misunderstood. All camel spiders, I believe, are misunderstood because they look so creepy. But hey, they have no venom. They cannot hurt you, and what they really want to do is burrow in the ground and eat bugs. So they're just a natural part of the environment. They help aerate the soil by digging burrows. That helps create holes. That helps create aeration. Here we go. And that's what they do best, is burrow and eat bugs. So please try not to be afraid of a sun spider or a camel spider. I know that there was a ton of myths out there that occurred when people were going overseas and seeing these animals, that they top out at about 6 inches or so, and that's as big as they can get. They cannot get bigger than 5 to 6 inches. So if you heard stories about them chasing you, it's not really that they're chasing anybody. they really prefer dark enclosed spaces like a burrow. I made sure to include a ton of footage of this camel spider already in the environment that I set up for it, already enjoying the starter burrows that I created, and already moving substrate around and doing what it would do in the wild. So that is amazing. Look at it. Look at its little face. It's using its pedipalps. It's using those big, I say chelicerae, but somebody might say chelicerae up front. Those are the big things that kind of look like fangs. They're mouth parts to a certain extent. And they use them to chop up prey and eat it, but they also use it for tunneling, which is what I suspect is why they have such big mouth parts to begin with. It's not necessarily for chopping up prey. That's like secondary. Of course they use it to eat. That's what they use it for nutrients. But what they would use it for is for tunneling. They remind me a lot of a shrew or a mole. If you've ever inspected the anatomy of a shrew or a mole and their mouth, or like a naked mole rat, which is the weirdest thing I'm ever gonna say, and people out there are thinking I'm crazy for saying this, but naked mole rats, they've got teeth specifically designed for tunneling. These animals have chelicerae that look like they've got tunneling chelicerae. Look at it go. They are big earth movers, burrowers, and they definitely don't want to hurt you. So if you're out there and you're watching tarantula forest videos, these guys are just fascinating. I took so much footage of my black sunspiders burrowing because I couldn't get enough of them. They're so beautiful. Look at it go. As soon as I popped them in their enclosures, that mixture of reptisoil and excavator clay and vermiculite made it look clay-based feel to it. They just went down in and started doing what nature told them to do. Isn't that fascinating? That is just amazing. There are actually over 1,000 different species of camel spiders or sun spiders in the world. So you can enjoy them in all shapes and sizes, and hopefully these videos are making you less afraid of them and enjoying them more. Not only that, but there could be people out there who want to get into keeping camel spiders and they're afraid because they've heard they don't do well in captivity. They don't do well in captivity, but you can definitely try by setting them up the way that they would be in nature. So this is actually a native species of sun spider. Somebody brought it into my work, and I work in an exotic pet shop. I would not have caught this by myself. I think it's doing better on its own. But I still have this sun spider. It still really enjoys the setup that I have. It's the best sun spider setup I have ever put it together. It's got leaves, it's got cork bark, it just has a lot going on in a little water dish in case it gets thirsty. And this native sun spider has been thriving. So I hope you learned something today about sun spiders. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful night. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.